When I returned home early from work that evening, I wasn't expecting to see anything unusual. My plan was simple: surprise my wife with dinner and spend a quiet night together. As I walked through the front door, the sound of muffled laughter reached my ears. It wasn't the usual TV show giggle. No, this was different. Curious, I stepped quietly into the living room, and that's when my world froze. My wife was sitting comfortably on her boss's lap, their faces far too close for comfort, whispering things they thought no one else could hear. For a moment, I just stood there in shock, unable to process what I was seeing. My wife of 6 years, the woman I trusted with every piece of my heart, was betraying me right in our own home. When she finally noticed me, her face drained of color. She leaped off her boss's lap, fumbling for excuses that didn't matter. The man, bold and shameless, just smirked at me as though I had no right to be upset. That smirk lit a fire in me I didn't even know I had. I didn't shout. I didn't throw anything. Instead, I smiled. That smile scared her more than if I had screamed. "Don't worry," I said calmly. "I won't stop whatever this is. Please continue." She looked confused while her boss laughed, thinking I was weak. But what they didn't know was that I already had a plan forming in my head, and it was going to hurt her in ways louder anger never could. Without another word, I pulled out my phone and began recording. My wife begged me to stop, tears welling in her eyes, but I ignored her. I made sure to capture everything: the awkward silence, her guilt, and his smug grin. Once I had enough, I walked out of the house, leaving them stunned. She ran after me, crying, but I didn't even turn back. That moment, my revenge had already begun. The next day, I went straight to her boss's company's board of directors. It turned out that he was married as well, and had a spotless reputation to maintain. I handed them the video, explained what had happened, and walked away. By the end of the week, her boss was no longer her boss. He had been fired, disgraced, and his wife had filed for divorce. His smug smirk was wiped away permanently. As for my wife, she tried desperately to patch things up. She apologized, begged, and even promised to cut all ties with him. But betrayal doesn't vanish with a few tears. I filed for divorce, and since I had the recording, the court was firmly on my side. I kept the house, the savings, and most importantly, my dignity. She walked away with almost nothing but the shame of what she had done. People often ask me if I regret the way I handled it. The truth is, I don't. My revenge wasn't about screaming or violence. It was about exposing the truth. She thought she could humiliate me in secret, but instead her secret destroyed her world. Every time she begged me to reconsider, all I could think about was how easily she chose another man's lap over my trust. In the weeks that followed, I felt a strange sense of freedom. Yes, the pain was there, but it was mixed with relief. I no longer had to live under the illusion of love that wasn't real. Friends and family supported me, proud of how I carried myself through such betrayal. Even those who doubted me before realized I had acted with clarity and strength. My wife tried to reach out even after the divorce, sending long messages about how much she regretted her mistake. But by then, I had already started moving on. I wasn't interested in being anyone's second choice, especially not hers. She had gambled with my heart and lost, and I wasn't going to give her another chance. Her boss's downfall became town gossip, and people whispered about how quickly a man could lose everything because of arrogance. My wife, once admired for her perfect marriage, was now seen differently. She had to live every day knowing she was the author of her own destruction. That was revenge enough for me. Looking back, I realized that sometimes silence and strategy hurt more than anger ever could. I didn't need to scream or fight to get justice. I just needed to let the truth come to light. And once it did, their little secret romance burned too. Ashes. In the end, I walked away with peace, strength, and self-respect. She walked away with regret, loneliness, and the weight of choices she could never undo. That was my instant revenge, showing her that I didn't need her and that my life would only get better without her betrayal.